Breaking news, the markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility. A massive sell-off in early trading has triggered circuit breakers across the board. Breaking news, the markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility. A massive sell-off in early trading has triggered circuit breakers across the board. Breaking news, the markets are experiencing unprecedented volatility. A massive sell-off in early trading has triggered circuit breakers across the board. Breaking news, the markets are experiencing unprecedented.
Welcome back, everybody. "15 people watching us live, welcome. Where's everybody watching us from today? I hope the camera quality looks a little bit better. Today we'll be looking at NASDAQ. So we'll be looking at NASDAQ today. So what I have drawn out is a daily resistance. So let me just annotate the chart for you. On the higher time frame, we do have a daily resistance where we could possibly see some selling pressure from if we do close below, which I'm expecting as we've had this sharp push to the upside. And then of course we have daily support down here. So let me just mark those out on your chat for you. See, we have some 4-hour support in this region. Let's make 4-hour purple. So we could go risk-free over here. What would that be? A 1 to 2? Yeah, 1 to 2. I'm liking this setup for today. This is my bias. Of course, only if we do close below our daily resistance, which would be this yellow box. Alright? So from here I would suggest going risk-free. I have identified a so we have a daily resistance over here, this yellow box, and then this green zone will be weekly support. I'm expecting the market to push towards if it does drop below our yellow daily resistance. Alright, so I'm just going to keep that there for now. Let's see what price is giving us. Of course, we've had a natural push or strong push up, which is quite unnatural, should I say, to the upside over the last day or two, for the simple reason being that Trump has of course called a ceasefire and Iran has agreed. So due to the ceasefire, we have seen a very strong rally. Traditionally, this doesn't last long. Again, I'm happy there's a ceasefire, I'm grateful for it. However, Trump is known for breaking ceasefires quite quickly, so I do not expect this rally to last quite long, hence my bearish fundamental bias. And then structurally, as I've mentioned, we are within a higher time frame resistance, which is our daily resistance, our yellow block, which we are within. So I'm expecting a pullback towards our weekly support if we do close below our yellow daily resistance, right? That would also form a sort of bearish flag pattern, breaking this counter trend or counter push or relief rally that we've had. As I'm also once again not going to force anything, price action is quite slow. I've had a couple mentees actually message me, hopefully you're watching the stream, regarding some positions they are in within not only Nasdaq but other trades as well. So hopefully this will reinforce a bias for them if they were to doubt themselves ever. I'm going to continue playing the music. This is my bias for the day. Position is laid out over the next few days, should I say. It's quite a big size or long medium size trade. It's a 1 to 4.48. So if you risk $1,000 or $100, you can expect a 4.48x return if it does go our way fully. Again, I have mentioned once we get to the halfway mark, our 4-hour support on the chart, this purple zone, that I will be then going risk-free, meaning putting more stop loss just in front of my position, meaning that I will not be risking anything from that point further. I will be taking risk off of the table just to protect myself. and then let the trade play out, right? So I'm going to drop down some time frames here for you to see and look at, and let's see if the market continues dumping and following the analysis. I have put my stop loss above the trend line or the counter trend, as well as the structural points or the highs we've had. Don't jump into anything. Like I've mentioned, you should always wait for confirmations and don't just follow other people's trades, right? Take your own trades, have conviction in your own confluences. I'm just documenting the journey, and everyone else who's in the chat and watching, you're more than welcome to follow along. I appreciate you guys watching. This is not financial advice, guys. Market does seem to be dumping quite nicely to the downside. Apologies for that. You can see we did have a little bit of a wick that we've had down over here, indicating buyers have stepped into the market at the bottom of this resistance. However, the 1 hour candle that just opened quickly flipping a bit down with a top wick indicating that sellers are stepping into the market at this level for sure. So this could be the pullback that we've been waiting for. On the 1 minute time frame, I see we have had a closure below, however not on the 5 or 15 minutes. So personally, I would rather wait for the market to continue coming back down, and so we can have a closure on the higher time frame. What I'd like to see is between oh, we don't even really have an imbalance we can mark out either. We just have to wait for a natural pullback and then for the market to come back down, I suppose, because we have not had a closure below our yellow zone yet, at least not on the higher time frame. Could start seeing some rejection possibly of the 50-day moving average as well as this previous high, which will be nice to see. If the market decides to continue dumping, of course. If it does not want to, it does not want to. We have had, what was this, a good 200 pop, 180 pop dumped straight down for the last 2 hours though. Let's see what the market does with our 50-day moving average here. Wow, playlist playing here in the background. Apologies, I just clicked the random non-copyright playlist. A little top wick rejection of our 50-day moving average. Let's see, can we reject off this high in this 50-day moving average, or does the market continue pushing up? It would be nice to see a push down now. Strong push down would be nice. Slow price action. Of course, Trump is speaking. Of course, Trump is speaking in 3 hours time, or there's red USD news. So I would want to be in and out of the market if I do decide to enter a position today before that news, or rather enter after that, right? We are seeing some rejection of this area right now. Let's see if we can push down. Let's see if we can close below these candles. Else that little push just formed a nice bottom wick for the push up. Seems like it wants to drop. Here's the drop. We do need a closure below this area. And we wick back up into the zone. Do we close? There we go. A little push down. Come on, close below that range, baby. Continue pushing, pushing, pushing. And of course we have, I'm not even gonna mark that little spot. 5 seconds for this candle to close. We have a 5-minute support over here as well, hence I mentioned we want that closure below the yellow zone, deep into our support. Here we get our push down and closure below. It should be good for a little continued push. Now we just need to make sure that the market does close below our equilibrium, or our 50%. That should signal that we are good and sellers are still in control to continue the momentum downwards, right? Playing off that level now. Look at that massive top wick on the 15-minute candle. Now we just need a closure below our zone. Just make sure. So we get our equilibrium over there, or our imbalance, fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. Don't like when bottom wicks like that form on the doji candles. They usually happen or occur when big reversals happen. Although we are on the smaller time frame, keep in mind as soon as we close below this yellow zone, we can expect quite a fast move to the downside if that does happen today, for the simple fact that this yellow zone is a higher time frame resistance, right? It is a daily resistance. So big moves are expected to happen from the zone, whether we end up closing below or above. Can see a little reversal of our zone. Let's see if this candle can flip to the downside. 1 second. Hope everyone in the chat has had a lovely, profitable month so far. Although it's just started, it is the 8th. I just feel like Trump has been manipulating these markets like hectic, like crazy. So I'm just being patient and not rushing into anything unnecessarily. Strong momentum back up into our 50-day moving average, and then boop, sellers push it right back down as we get into our high on the left. So sellers definitely seem to be happy to step into the market at this region. Let's see if they can hold it though. Quick bottom wick up from the buyers, stepping into the market again on that pullback. Have a little 5-minute resistance. See if we can end up holding this on the lower time frame. 15-minute time frame, little top wick, 30 minutes, same story. So we've tapped off it twice now on the 1 minute. Can we reject to the downside? energy in the building. Quite a dead playlist. Come on, sellers. Keep pushing this price down below this resistance. Doji candle. Momentum to the upside seems to be drying up. Let's see once I'm expecting a little tap off this 50-day moving average at least. I haven't fully came into this zone, so I'm just being patient. You don't have to, but usually we do reject off the EMA at least before we continue in a direction, so it would only be natural there that pushes. See that little pop of the EMA. Now it's about whether we hold within the zone and continue reversing down, or if the market is just going to continue pumping to the upside and, you know, doing its thing. Quick pop back down from our 5-minute resistance. Very quick pop to the downside. That's what we like to see though. Now we need that continued push. There we go. Come on, keep the momentum going, baby.
Seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Strong push back up into our resistance zone. See what happens here. Seems as though bulls have taken control of the market, as we are seeing higher highs and higher lows being formed. Not yet though. We've had this close and push up over this higher high, higher low. This high failed to close above this high, so it's an equal high. And then we have a higher high. So let's see if we can still pull back from our 5-minute resistance zone over here. It is still possible. Little rejection. I don't like that bottom wick. Let's close below our trend line as that. Yes, Dion, welcome in the chat. Welcome. Are you still in your short or did you take profits? One of the members in the chat, I'm just responding to guys. For those who might be watching afterwards. I wish you were a bit earlier. Just scroll back into the stream and let me know if you think this camera is better or the previous one I was using earlier on. I have switched cameras now, so strong push, that's what we like. Having a little bit of a connection issue it seems. Screen just went blank for a second. I don't know if you saw that. I took profit once I saw a 5-minute wick. I'm looking to possibly enter once we close below this yellow daily resistance or daily supply. So we have closed on the 1 minute, however on the higher time frames we haven't closed below it. So I'm just waiting for confirmation.
South Africa has some of the most complex true crime cases in the world.
Let's see if we can get that strong push or pop down now. We are still below our 50-day moving average, this blue line, which I am liking, as well as our resistance. The top wick rejection is what I'd like to see. Now that continuation. Very slow price action. However, it is expected as there is a news event in the next, 2.5 hours, so. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Welcome. Our average view duration I see in analytics is 50 minutes and 6 seconds at the moment. I wonder how long I've been live for. Can you see that? We've been live since 4:35. So it's almost the whole stream. Insane. We are seeing that little push back down now, which is fantastic. Can we close below our range here though? For that continuation. Need a closure below for that continuation, chat. As I was saying, we've rejected off the trend line as well as the box. However, we've not had a closure below our structural point, which is what we're waiting for to signal a continuation to the downside. There's that push. Can we get a closure? Market pushing nicely to the downside now. This 15-minute candle closing just closed. I would like the previous 15-minute candle to possibly wick up and then flip in reverse with a strong push to the downside. Did get a closure below our structural point though, which is nice. If anyone's trading any other pairs in the chat, feel free to drop down below what pairs you're looking at or trading. Let me know if you're in some profits, in some drawdown. It'll be quite interesting to see what pairs you ladies and gents trade in the chat. Andrew, welcome. Andrew says incur and gold. Also love those two pairs. Mainly Nasdaq though. I've been off Nasdaq with everything going on in the Middle East. Mainly been trading gold due to the volatility. As you can see on Nasdaq, we consolidate quite a lot, so try to stay away from it if I know the volume's not looking too great. We've just had some breaking news. Let me just pause the music real quick. We've had some breaking news come through. Just want to confirm the source. That Iran says it will withdraw from the US ceasefire agreement if Israel continues to violate it by attacking Lebanon. So this is what I was talking about earlier in the stream. If the ceasefire does not stand or hold and they get back to bombing each other, of course we can expect the US stock market to continue dropping, which will coincide fundamentally with our technical analysis than if we were to break the below to the left or our yellow daily resistance as mentioned. It does seem like we are getting some sort of natural pullback here. Does not seem like the market is affected much by that announcement, or negatively, should I say, as we seem to be rallying to the upside, still within our resistance zone though. Yeah, no, strong push to the upside. Do we get that closure above our resistance now? 20 seconds left. Interesting. Close within. So the shorts are not off the table completely yet. However, once we close above this resistance, I expect a strong pull up if we do that. So yeah, strong push up. Strong push up. What is this tracks? Whoever made this streaming playlist needs to be studied. Let me show you the name of this playlist, chat. Look at the name of this playlist. Non-copyright music for streaming. Right? And then I get this shit playing. Let me turn the music off. Let me turn the music off, chat. Yeah, we closed above our 5-minute resistance. So we are having that natural pull up as expected earlier or explained. On the higher time frames, we can then see that bottom wick coming into play, and we did not enter yet as we do not have that closure below our yellow daily resistance as mentioned. So we can see a possible rejection of this region as well as the 50-day moving average. However, no special price action for me today. I mean, nothing much, no confirmation, not the craziest amounts of volume either, so just sitting on my hands, doing what traders should be doing best. Not much price action for me to work with, chat. I mean, I was waiting an hour and 10 minutes now for that market to come down and close below, and then it just whoop, flipped right back up, right? So I think I'm going to call it for today. No confirmation, no entry. There is news coming up in the next 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I'm going to call it a day from my side, chat. I hope everyone else enjoyed joining in. Let me know in the comment section below for those watching afterwards as a replay, whether you prefer the first camera or this one. Of course, I don't have lots of lighting on my face right now, but let me know which quality you think was better. I hope everyone has a lovely rest of your day and week. And then I'm going to call it at that for the day. It does seem like we do get some getting some rejection over here. However, it's just natural pullbacks as before the market can continue pushing to the upside now. It has to, of course, come back down to form natural market structure. Other than that, I hope everyone else has a lovely, profitable week further. I look forward to joining and chatting with more of you on the streams coming up. Like and subscribe. It's a road to 10,000. And I want to get there before the end of the year. Appreciate everyone else. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.